I have an interesting game for you, and it was played in the Baku 2016 Olympiad. And I was in Baku in 2016, and it was a very, very interesting place to visit. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity. The local Azerbaijani organization did a great job, and it was a great Olympiad. The game I'm going to show you was played between Masrahi Abdulrahman with white from Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia, which has been in the news recently because of the World Rapid and Blitz, which took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And his opponent in this game was Croat's Octavio from Aruba. And they're both rated around 1900. Masrahi Abdulrahman had the white pieces and he opened with a d4. Octavio went with knight of 6, and we see the London system by Abdulrahman. c5, e3, knight c6, and classical London system move with c3. Black goes for this classical development, and white plays knight b to d2. Now on bishop d6, white went with knight to e5. Black has some options here. It's possible to take on e5, but he decided to increase the pressure on e5 with queen to c7. So now we have 3 pieces attacking e5 and 2 pieces defending. So white increased his defense of e5 with knight d to f3. And now black went for a tempting move. Let's see the best move, which I believe is knight d7. This should be around equal. This challenges e5, and white must do something about it. However, black played knight h5, which seems like a very plausible move because you're attacking this bishop, and if it goes to g3, you're threatening to capture it as well, and it looks like your pressure on e5 is going to pay dividends. But this is actually an opening trap, and this is something you might be able to apply in your own games if you play the London system, because white gains almost a winning position here with, can you find the move for white? White can actually play knight takes f7, which is exactly what Abdulrahman did. And I must say, I'm quite impressed with Abdulrahman from Saudi Arabia for finding this move. Maybe he had prepared this variation, but he found it over the board. You know, full credit to him. Now let's begin by dismissing the bad moves. King takes f7. Let's actually dismiss queen takes f7 first. We just take on d6, wrap a pawn for absolutely nothing. King takes f7 allows bishop takes d6 and knight to g5. And now this knight is hanging, so if you don't want to be down material with a bad position, you play king g6. But this bishop d3 threat is very annoying for black. After h4, it's definitely on the cards. So how do you prevent bishop d3? Let's try e5. Then there's g4, and it's already really difficult for black. We're threatening to regain the piece here, and if you retreat, I take on e5, and this opens up the d3 square. And like I said, this check is very good for white. It's actually deadly, and so deadly that after king h6, I'm not only winning the queen back here, it's actually checkmate after knight f7. So this must be avoided at all costs for black. So black played bishop takes f4, but now white took the rook, knight takes h8. So at the moment white is up the exchange and the pawn, and we're attacking this bishop. So the bishop kind of has to move. It went back to d6, and now knight to g5, opening up an attack on the knight on h5, which retreated. And now Abdulrahman took on h7. Bishop d3 is the best move when white is basically more or less winning. But knight takes h7 was played. Here black could have been able to put up a tougher defense with knight takes. After queen h5 he actually has g6, which defends the knight. And it's not so easy. After queen takes, there's king f8. Bishop d3 attacks the knight, but there's queen g7. Takes, 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 and double attack by the king. So black, you know, gets 2 pieces for the rook, but on the other hand, white has 3 pawns for it, so white should be more or less winning. But okay, at least black can squirm. In the game, black didn't take on e7, he played queen e7. White took on f6, seems like a good move, and after queen takes f6, queen h5. Octavio went with his king to f8. It seemed better to go in the other direction, away from the white pieces, but okay, knight g6, king to g8, and now bishop d3. White is up the exchange and 2 pawns, so this is more or less winning for white. So black went for some desperation here. He took on d4, and knight takes d4. Now white could have won fairly easily, but just taking on d4, he's up a rook, and after this we can just castle queenside. We defend the bishop, the king is safe. Completely winning for white. We have this coming up. But after knight takes d4, Abdulrahman didn't take any chances. He went queen h4, intending to change queens. And with the amount of material black is down, that's of course basically suicide. So black went for knight f3, banking on the double attack here on the rook and the bishop. But white moved in, queen d8. And well, if black goes here, he gets mated in 1. So that explains why he went to f7, which looks much better. But what did Abdulrahman play here? It's a fairly good move. It's fairly unusual as well, but once you see it, you're like, yeah, yeah, that's what I like. And I'm sure that's the way Abdulrahman felt. Playing in a chess Olympiad, move 21, he moved in for the checkmate, knight to h8. Caca! Queen is covering a lot of squares, so the addition of the knight here is actually enough to produce the checkmate. So I'm sure that Masrahi Abdulrahman felt quite good about delivering checkmate on move 21 with knight h8 in an Olympiad. You know, it's quite a privilege to play an Olympiad, so I'm pretty sure that Abdulrahman was very happy in this moment, and it's also a very nice mate, so I understand. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little cool game, and yeah, this is a trap that you might be able to apply in your own games, and I actually learned something. I wasn't aware of this trap, but I learned something today, and I hope you did as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.